Welcome to True Wellness. Today we're going to cover one of the topics I think a lot of the clients struggle with. We often talk about regulation, and I don't think that clients have a real deep understanding what that means in their appointment and what that means to their health.
Sure.
So asking like a normal question that a client would have. What does regulation mean, and how does it affect me in my appointment?
Good. So regulation is the concept that the body has the ability to go between sympathetic, which is the ability to burn energy, to be awake, to be active. Okay, the sympathetic is the regulation between that and the parasympathetic, which is to allow me to rest, to heal, to digest. The only time the body actually recovers from illness or injury is when you have an opportunity to actually rest. The only time we really digest food is when we have an opportunity to rest. And so this idea of regulation is this concept between these two important aspects of the nervous system. Parasympathetic, do I have the ability to rest, heal, and digest? Sympathetic, do I have the ability to burn energy appropriately? Okay? And so it's paramount to look at this because it's the ground floor in regards to how the body has the ability to compensate for stress. So all of us are under a lot of different stressors all throughout our day and our week and our life. Okay, whether it's scars or immune challenges like bacteria, virus, fungus, mold, emotional stressors, whatever it happens to be, that has an effect on our regulation. And if our body has the ability to regulate and compensate with these two aspects, then it has the ability to kind of fend those things off. When we lose regulation, that's kind of the idea where the body stops being able to compensate and slowly allows an illness to creep in on us a little bit.
So how can you tell if I'm regulating?
Okay, there's a lot of ways to know whether or not we're regulating. Some of the ways we do it in the office is the heart rate variability, which is a test that everybody goes through at the office to find out how well do you really regulate. It's a simple computer test where you lay down, we put a heart monitor on you, you lay down, and the computer looks at what your heart's doing in regards to its rhythm. Mm-hmm. And you're resting. And then the computer beeps, the person stands up, and we look at how stressful just standing is for the person. It's also not just looking at how stressful that might be, but does the body really see the difference between laying down and standing up? And if the body, in a general way, understands the difference between laying down and standing up on this computerized test, then we know that they're regulating fairly well. Okay? There's a lot of different things that combine to cause a stress on that regulation, and some people tolerate those stressors better than others. But over the years of really looking at this, I find that our regulation throughout the day turns on and off. I really believe that there's an appropriate aspect of it becoming what we call blocked, okay, where the regulation kind of stops for a moment and then starts up again. But generally what we look for is the ability to truly regulate appropriately, to have a rhythm, quite honestly, in the person, in the life.
So if you're blocked for a short amount of time, you can still be considered healthy. You're not
absolutely
degenerating into disease or illness at that stage.
I agree. It's chronic blocked regulation that starts to cause the body to no longer be able to see the stressors that it should really try and deal with.
Yeah.
And it's that overload.
And is there anything that we could be doing at home outside of our appointments that can assist with
regulation?
Helping, us to regulate?
Let's see. The toughest thing for most people, I honestly believe, is having some kind of rest. Some kind of real, true downtime, where they're not thinking about work, where they're not working on a phone, where they're not on the computer, where they're really allowing the system to go into a rest mode. I think there are ways that you can affect our regulation and try and help it be strong. I honestly believe one of those ways is to be connected on some level to the setting of the sun. And to stay into some kind of circadian rhythm, where we're asleep before midnight, we're up before 8, kind of moving with the sun. I think that helps people's regulation. And avoiding the primary stressors that everybody is typically aware of in our office,
What are the primary stressors?
Heavy metal loads. Everything from immunizations, mom having heavy metal when we were in utero, dental fillings, things like that cause a problem in the system. Metals definitely affect regulation. Scars on our skin have a big impact on regulation because the regulation is about energy flow along the body and along the skin as well. And so there's so many different indicators for it. So you've got metals and chemicals and immune challenges that somebody might be under, right? EBV is a big thing right now that people are becoming aware of. So subclinical viral loads, all of those things that take up the immune system's ability to relax a little bit. If it's constantly stressed out, eventually the body goes, look, instead of moving through these different gears, kind of like a car, from first to fourth, I'm just going to lock into a gear and try and function in one vibration, really.
Great. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to bringing you more videos with some of your questions.